Good morning. It's Sunday, the 13th of November at 9:37. Cool. I'm Thomas Shawcroft, Director of Photography, and I am going to be working through I'm going to be building this today, and just walking through how I built that in Shop Designer, and why it's useful for your film. What we have here is three people in conversation. We have a coroner, we have a witness, and we have an interested party. We have a room, and it's a courtroom drama, and this is just working out the camera blocking, and also when there is new characters in the film, when the cameras would then switch to the new characters and the coverage. We have a wide down here, and then we've got three kind of mid close-ups going on here. So let me start from the beginning again. So what I first start adding in is a mix between characters, adding the camera, and also then the props. So I'm just going to check out one thing for a second. Okay, great. So, and also I do have the chat open if anybody has any questions throughout. Hit us up. So we will add in our characters. We will have our main judge as this red character here. So we add in these characters by clicking down here, adding characters. Let's add a camera in here as well. Let's give our camera a red camera as it's a camera. And then we will move on to another character. Let's call our witness over here as the blue B camera shot. And what we might try and do in this production is actually run all these three cameras at the same time, trying to get as much coverage as possible. It's not too conventional to run it like that. And then yellow is actually a C camera, so we'll have this interested party as our C camera. I don't have yellow as a camera. Oh, it's okay. Let's choose orange. Let's see if that's any edit color type. No, just doesn't let you. Okay. So it has been a while since I've used this program. It's come on a lot, I imagine. There is some different functionalities of this application. If I go into save, here's the application, Shot Designer by Hollywood Camera Work. There is a paid version. I think it's like £4 or something, maybe a month or maybe a year. I really don't know. But you pay to save your scene, to organize your scene, and also then sync up with other collaborators. We'll go back onto resuming our scene. What is next? I mean, to be honest, you could start with adding your set. In this location, it's a 4 walls, but you can go as crazy as you want, really. That angle there is slightly off. I'll see if I can work on that in a minute. So I've snapped to a grid, but that's not a great position. So let's remove that control point, and let's add a new one. Okay, so what we're going to do is delete this segment. Undo that. Okay, you can undo and redo quite easily, which is good. I guess if I add a control point here and then delete that segment. Oh no. Okay, let's start again on this box. I think it's easier to just get it in one go. So kind of doing this by adding control points, which is kind of weird. The previous one I did was I just basically did the whole thing in one go, which I guess is now, in hindsight, now I'm like, oh, okay, I actually did that pretty luckily. Anyway, but you can extend up the walls. Move segment, there we go. So I should be able to move this up in one go, kind of. Okay, so after we built the walls, I know there's 2 windows on this wall here, so I can add in these windows. As you add them in, they're normally ridiculously huge. What I normally do is I put scalable on, and then after that I then move down the scalability of the window to the shrink down, right click on it and then duplicate. And now I have my 2 windows. I mean, you could put in even like an arrow of your sun direction if you really wanted to. I know the sun kind of comes around the building like this on the left of our page and then sets over here where the windows are. Luckily we know we have blinds, so I might just put in, there might be something from Silk or a bounce maybe. Just put that against that window there maybe. Make it scalable, extrude it out a little bit. So I know that there's not going to be any window light coming through. Duplicate that and pop onto the other one. But we will have blinds in the background, so maybe they're not the prettiest things, so we might want to try and avoid them on that shot. Then moving forwards, I then also add in chairs to my characters that are actually sitting. So I know this person sitting up here, and then I'll also add in a prop, a square table, and I'll just shrink this table down. You know what, I'll actually shrink it down this way. And there's quite a long table in front of this character. And this character might look between this character here, the person in blue, and the person in yellow. So that's something to think about in terms of eye lines later on down the line. And trying how to either get the best camera angle, or maybe you do need 2 camera positions for this camera here. So shooting inside the line, you might have to have something like this, where it's favoring the center, and then you might have to duplicate this camera and then move it to this kind of position. Because as the character moves from here to here, there's that change of eye lines that you need to kind of work on. We'll pop in the middle somewhere. And now we'll do the same on this character. So we'll duplicate this chair. I'm pretty sure this will be like a high stool kind of, or a high seat. And then this person also has like a mini table in front of them, like a lectern kind of style. And then moving forward, we then have tables for these characters down here. So there's not just one interested party, there's a couple of these kind of like lawyers and solicitor kind of characters. So I know that in this sequence, 2 or 3 of them stand up. But not all at the same time, they kind of take it in turns. So we'll just do 3 benches fairly close together. See, as soon as you start adjusting the sizes, I would actually delete and then just duplicate this out again. Otherwise, you could be there all day with trying to resize the different kind of tables or different props. And I mean, this isn't supposed to be super accurate. Going through from this, what would I work on? I would add some more props in the background probably. Maybe, should I delete that for a second? I might even, because I know there's some bookshelves in the background, so what I might do, and these are kind of similar sizes to these tables. I'll just change them a different colour, just to kind of notify them, so it's easily like, okay, that's more of a prop maybe in the background. So I know there's 2 bookshelves either side. That's not going to fit. Let's bring these bookshelves a bit in. Maybe even on the day as well, we'll bring them in. And then also what I know is it's kind of like an emblem thing behind this person here. I'm just going to make a small. For some reason it doesn't want to shrink down further than that. Anyway. Oh, that's a bit shorter now. And let's turn that yellow. Okay, cool. Alright, so you've got the different ideas here in terms of what's happening. What you can do is actually import images into the software. So then then you can actually bring up the images, and it kind of like spirals off to here of what the shot is. We do have shots at this location, but I won't bring them into this for the moment. I'm going to skip forwards now to our kind of like finalized one. So you can see that I've added in doors here. Doors can be found in set and open door, closed doors, double doors. There's quite a lot of different variations. I'll just quickly run through them all. In this software, between when you add a character, male is designed for having 1 line and female is for 2 lines here, just to help delineate between different characters. But also you can actually annotate your characters as well, so it's kind of useful. Adding cameras, these are just different cameras. You could also name your cameras A, B or C if you want to. Adding props, there's a lot of different props, from papers to dogs to trucks to planes to boom poles, equipment, all that jazz. Video Village is actually quite a good one. I would probably put Video Village on here on this day. Let's make it a bit scalable, because then you actually go, alright, where's my dead area, which is always important for me to go, okay, where am I lighting from, or I'll put people in the corner here. So something like this, we would probably try to avoid it on this camera here maybe. So maybe it'll be more here, just to try and avoid the back of that shot. If not, then maybe it'd be a good idea here, or even out the room, out this way, because I know that this door will never be in shot, and therefore maybe we just go, okay, let's make it a lot easier on ourselves. If this is going to be the background shot of this character, yeah. What else? Then also going downwards one more here, we've got the sun. So as I said before, the sun direction is going to be like here at some point. And you can also add in storyboard images from the annotations area. And then one of the things I would say in these areas is we're probably going to work a lot with panel lighting. So we're just going to work out on the day which side's the best side for the light, and probably work with the fixtures and ceilings as well to kind of create some, it won't be exactly like 3-point lighting, it'll be a bit more kind of a fill and key sides, mostly working with the stuck on light panels or light mats onto the ceilings. So it'll be in that kind of line of lighting, hopefully. Maybe we could put in LED tubes and ceiling as well. For these interested parties, we could do a bit more. But as we see further into the scene, we might have to work more with the ceiling lightings or fixtures, or then adding in our own light mats as well. great. I think that's a pretty good run through. I can do more of this in the future as well. I still need to go back through and take myself back through the camera positions again. So where it tracks from and to. So this is actually a tracking shot on this camera here. But also where the character positions are, because you can track from where to where, but then you need to turn this to 2, I think. Turn before, turn after. So I'll just try this out and see if this works. This probably won't work at all. So I know that one wants to be visible then, and I know that one wants to be visible on 2, and I know this one should be visible on 2. Go back, that should be visible on 1, 1, 1, and these should all be visible on 2 as well. Okay. Not visible. We'll see. Alright, let's play this out. Okay, yeah, it does actually work quite well. So that was a little bit of faffing, but and perhaps you wouldn't move there, you should just walk off the stand. But that's quite an interesting. I'm going to wind it back to 1. So we have segments in the scenes where we need like a tracking shot that kind of pulls in or pushes out the scene. So it works something like this. But maybe I didn't want that character to move. I'm going to delete this whole line. And actually all it is in the sequence is quite simple. It's a push in, and all the characters are staying still, and that'll be the end of the sequence. Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in, and or whoever's watching later. I might make some following videos on this as well. It's been a while since I've used this software. I do still think it's got a good place for more camera blocking. It's a really quick, simple way of really getting some ideas down, and it also helps obviously production as well of what actors do we need for longer scenes, to be like, okay, which actors do we need on certain days for coverage wise, can be really helpful in that certain circumstance. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.